You can find my Cash App, PayPal, Amazon wish list in the description box below. My P.O. box is down there as well because I've been asked for it a few times. If anybody wants to send me any of their natural products and have me check them out and tell people what I think, you can do that as well. Just make sure you send all your information with it. And I really appreciate all of you guys who do those things, or like, comment, share, subscribe on here or my other channel, D's Storytime, where I have my poetry. You can find a link for that in the description box below. I really do appreciate all of you guys so much. And as soon as I get to 1,000 subscribers on D's Storytime, I will be doing a mystery giveaway. It has gone up like 20 subscribers in the last 2 weeks. So thank you guys for helping me to get there. I appreciate you so much. And let's get started with this message we got going on today. So, what's funny is I was looking for my fan this morning, and while I was looking for my fan, I found my pictures, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna pull some of those out, and the fan is the first thing that popped out. Often overlooked, but totally golden. There's a lot of messages coming in your way right now, especially about certain people. There actually may be somebody on the other side that is really trying to contact you about certain situations as well. A setup or something along those lines could be being highlighted. Your words make things happen. They call it spells for a reason, because spelling, words, spells are words, and your words make things happen. Your words are far stronger than you think they are, especially when talking to yourself. When talking to yourself, or when talking to others as well, your words make things happen. When you express things in certain ways, notice how different they pan out than if you express them in other ways. Pay attention to the words that you're using for yourself and for others. And also be extremely proud of yourself right now, because you could have went from learning how to love yourself by dressing up, by wearing makeup, by doing whatever you needed to do to feel good about you. And then you just became at peace with you and who you are. And then you just kind of adopted this more natural, self-loving type of energy going on. Your words are something that really can inspire people very greatly. You may actually inspire people to turn away from the negative voice inside of their mind with your words as well. It's definitely time to cut off some things that are no longer serving you as well. To realize that the table you're making is a table that is for you. And when you want to have good vibes at that table, you got to make sure that there's good vibes at that table by not allowing the negative vibes to be around when you have that table full and set. Given to those we truly admire, to protect from jealousy and harm. So, you could also be dealing with a lot of gifts coming your way right now. You might have actually dealt with somebody giving you some sort of weapon or something along those lines as well. And if that is the case, then this person gave you this form of protection because they love you and they care about you, and they really want to make sure that you are okay at the end of the day. You may also want to get an evil eye piece of jewelry or something along those lines. I know there's a lot of readers on here who actually do in their shops have things like that as well. So it might not be a bad idea to get something like that for yourself, or to light candles, burn sage, all those things that make you feel safe and comfortable in your space. Somebody recently was telling me, oh, don't burn sage for protecting your energy and all that kind of stuff because it resets the energy. Well, maybe you need an energy reset, because then you can start that energy off with just yours. You could also do Palo Santo. You could do juniper. There's a lot of different things that you could burn for protection. There's a lot of different candles that you can burn for certain intents as well. And whatever intent you put in there is good. Black and white candles are good for protection, as well as purifying your energy. Green is good for the heart space and money. Red is good for confidence and root work. Orange is good for the sacral chakra and your desires, your passions, no longer feeling ashamed or guilty. Yellow is good for happiness, optimism, joy, faith, and opening yourself up to the possibilities. Blue candles, good for the throat chakra, good for communication, good for peace and balance and feeling harmonious within as well as with your world outside. Indigo is good for the third eye. It's good for listening to your intuition, trusting the signs and synchronicities and messages that you receive, and really being able to take leaps of faith on what you're feeling rather than feeling like you need the proof for it. And violet, good for connecting yourself to the source and to the divine beings that you pray to. It's good for listening to that guidance, hearing that guidance, opening up your mind to the possibilities of what is being brought down to you and helping you to sort through the confusion to see it all clearly. So all of those are good ways to be able to protect your energy and to be able to really lift your spirit up and out of the lower vibes into a higher vibe way of seeing things and being. So let's see what messages we have coming out today. And before that, if you guys didn't notice, today I'm doing $10 a question or 15 for 2. And you can find my Cash App and PayPal in the description box below if you wanted to be able to do that. You can send the money and let me know you sent it and ask your question at any time throughout the reading. You don't have to wait for a specialized time period for it. We just do it all in between the messages. So, let's see what's going on today. Skin deep. Damn. It's home today. If I had no face, scars all that you could see, would you keep pace or would you flee? My beauty goes more than skin deep, but skin is all you wish to keep. When I'm old, gray and bent, will you come heaven sent? Or will you turn away from me because skin is all that you see? Arm yourself with a mirror of sight. Make sure what you feel is right. Don't look at me and think, into my lust, let me sink. It's time to see who I really am inside. Do you really want me along for the ride? Don't say that you're all in if you can't see who I am, the real me. And if you want to be able to find this poem again, you can find my link for Dee's StoryTime in the description box below. So, right now, you could be learning some messages about skin deep as well. Not just with yourself, but with others. There's actually been a few times where, you know, I do date older. A lot of the people that I date are older than me. The oldest I've gone is 15 years older. And a lot of them are right around the 12-year range. I did try a few that were closer to my age. One that was younger than me over the last couple of years. And yeah, no. And it's not really about age, it's about their age on the inside a lot of times. And I will agree with that. But there have been a fair amount of older people that are like 30 years older than me. And they're like, well, age isn't a thing and blah, 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 blah. And trying to make me feel guilty about not wanting to be with them and not being attracted to them because of their age. But here's the deal. Like I told them, if it wasn't about age for you, then you would be looking for somebody your own damn age instead of looking at somebody 30 years younger than you. You're the same age as my fucking childhood molester, and I don't want anything to do with that. And I'm sorry if you can't wrap your mind around that, and I'm sorry if you want to make me feel guilty about it, but I won't feel guilty about it. And two can play at that game. It was kind of like when my mom was telling me at one point, well, Danielle, I'll just pray that because you decided not to get the COVID vaccine, you don't get sick and die. And I was like, well, Mom, I will just pray that since you guys decided to get the COVID vaccine that's never been tested, that you guys don't get some unknown side effect down the lines that really hurts you guys. Two can play at that game, Mom. And it's the same thing with people trying to guilt trip me over not wanting to date a 60-something-year-old man because of his age. And here's the deal. If you were looking for somebody your own age, then you could actually tell somebody that it's about age. But you're not looking for anybody your own age either. You're looking for somebody 30 years younger, which means you're making it about age. So if I make it about age when I turn you down, You can't be upset about that. You can donate anytime you want to. I would really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much as well. And also today we're doing $10 a question and 15 for two if you wanted to be able to ask a question as well. By the way, nice to see you today. This one actually came out in one of my pick-a-cards recently. Follow-up. It came out in my Lost Loved One pick-a-card. So if this poem resonates with you, you may want to check that out. Oh, I'm so sorry, my dear. Did you not hear me clear? Too much hood is never good, but hood is what I need to succeed. A happy medium's always nice, hot as fire, cold as ice. You gotta be both to be my man. Have you not yet heard the plan? 6/26/22. So, when it comes to dating and things like that as well, everyone has a shadow side and a light side. That's just the way it is. Every single person is going to have a shadow side and a light side. And what it comes down to is how well your angels and your demons play together. How well do they play together? How well do they work together? When there's an argument and your demons come out, how do they interact together? When you are out in public and you're talking to people of the opposite sex and your person is there, how do their demons react? Are you somebody who enjoys talking to people of the opposite sex? Because if their demons react and I'm going to beat the shit out of that person, then that demon's not a good demon to be playing around with, because you're not looking for somebody who's going to restrict who you can be around. And that's just that. So you always got to look at those things when it comes to dealing with people. What is it exactly that you want or need in a relationship? Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that. I'm watching over you. Wow, this came out in that same reading, my Lost Loved One reading. And there's like a 150, 200 messages inside my bag there, at least. The pile is about 10 times this thickness. So yeah, this came out in my Lost Loved One reading too. So there's definitely some people here that need to check out that reading. I'm watching over you, and what I see, I am so proud of. You've been handling everything so well. Remember that it's okay to cry. I took some time myself last night to just cry for a little bit because it was needed. It was needed so much. God. Last night, there's a guy that was interested in me, and I've told him from the beginning that we're just friends. That's all we're ever going to be, period. Bottom line, that's it. That's all I got for you. I got friendship if you want friendship. And he has acted like he has accepted it for a very long time. And last night, while I was with someone else that was playing in the pool tournament, when I went to go say bye to him at the end of the night, after showing me his demons that he didn't think I saw, and I was like, dude, they fucking vibrate off you. I can see that shit. That's why there's no way that we ever would have been able to be in a relationship, is because I've already done that, and I'm not looking for that, and I'm not some perfect being. I am a fucking human being, and you're looking for perfect. I don't want to get involved in that. Sorry. Nope. And so he ended up, my cat is jumping in the middle of everything. He ended up, when I went to hug him, he grabbed me like in a really disrespectful manner. And I shoved him off me. He's like, what? I wasn't going to do anything. It's not like I was going to force myself on you or something. I was like, as a friend, you never should have done that to begin with, because I've already told you that I don't feel that way about you and I don't want your hands on me like that. So, yeah, that's, if you wanted to keep the friendship, that was the wrong move to make. And I walked out of the place. So, yeah, that does hurt when things like that happen. But that's okay, because it also allows you to be able to let go and close that door that needs to be closed, and to open the doors that are better for you. It's okay, sweetheart. I've had things that are similar happen so often, especially around this area, because you know what? In this area, there are so many people that don't think that men and women can just be friends. And here's the thing, you know, I spend a lot of time with a lot of men a lot of times because, and I have a lot of male friends because I enjoy doing a lot of things that a lot of men enjoy doing. I enjoy being out in nature. I enjoy hiking. I enjoy going to the river a lot. I enjoy just being able to, yeah, there's a lot of things that I have a lot of masculine energy within me. I do have a lot of feminine energy within me too. And a lot of those men are probably upset because the ones that I pick generally tend to be the more feminine ones. But it's not my problem, you know. I have another friend that has been designated to the dad zone. And he was a little disappointed by it because, you know, he was wanting something more. And at the same time, he's willing to accept that. And he's like, it's okay, no worries. And I'm still going to be here. We're still going to be friends. So you do run into good people and you do run into bad people. You run into people, well, and everybody is a bit of both, good and bad. Drop my camera. Everybody's a bit of both good and bad. And that's what you kind of got to remember when it comes down to things like that, too. It wasn't the biggest loss, I'll say that, but it still did require a couple tears. Pride goeth before a fall. Hanging on to pride, that's not a very fun ride. Holding it tight, does it hold you right? Say sorry to the ones you love, bring peace and be the dove. Transformation calls you now, be humble and take a bow. It's amazing the strength you gain when you allow the glow of cleansing rain. Weakness is not what sorry entails, strength is the one who can adjust his sails. Admit you took the wrong course, you bought the cart disguised as the horse. Played the part for all around, inside your truth it can be found. Don't allow the war to go on, time to rise above a pawn. I was listening to something this morning about narcissistic abuse, and they were talking about how people don't like being called victims. They don't like being told they were victimized and things like that. It's a pride issue. Once you have healed and once you are moving forward, you are a survivor. But until that step, at that point, you are a victim. And I can relate to the not liking being called a victim, but I also don't see myself as a victim. I see myself as a survivor who has triumphed over everything that has come my way and has been able to pull myself up out of the pit of despair that comes with it. So I don't see myself as a victim per se. And it's all in what you see yourself as. But a lot of that does have to do with pride too. Whether or not you see other people who come into contact with you as a victim in some sort of way. Because at times, every one of us has been in a state where we have been hurt and where we may have hurt other people. So not only are we waiting for apologies from those who have hurt us, but we also should be giving them out to those that we have hurt. Because as much as we may be waiting for an apology, they may be too. You can get closure without the apology, and you should really look into being able to do that, because a lot of times you're not going to get that apology. You're just not going to get the apology from people that don't really feel bad for what they did. At the same time, it's not about what other people are doing. It's about what you're doing. At one point, there was a guy that I hadn't talked to in about 6 months. And you know what? I messaged him and I was like, you know, I just wanted to say that I am sorry for my part of whatever we were doing at that point. And you had your part too, but that's on you. This is me. And I just want to say that I'm sorry for my part in it. And he messaged back and apologized as well. And it's not about what anyone else is doing. It's about what you're doing, because what you're doing affects you the most. If you feel like there are situations where you need to let people know, hey, I'm sorry for what I did in that situation because, you know, I just wasn't thinking clearly at that time, or I was really hurt at that time and I had a lot going on, so I may not have reacted in the best way. And I just want to let you know that I didn't mean to hurt you in the way that I did. There's nothing wrong with that. That's fucking amazing that you can do that. That's a very strong person right there to be able to do that. to be able to swallow their pride, to be able to set their ego aside, and to be able to reach out and let people know that, hey, I feel like I was wrong in this situation, and I want to let you know that I was wrong in this situation. And because of doing that, good things always come in. Prosperity. A prosperous business with riches and successes. Felix Felicitas. Power symbol to create lucky and serendipitous events. Little luxuries. Generates luxurious experiences and surroundings. So, in doing these things and taking these steps, you're really going to be creating a better life for yourself. Because you're giving yourself that closure, because you're not holding on to it anymore, because you're letting go of it, not just with the other people, but with yourself and with everything that you were going through. Any of the self-hate, any of the guilt, any of the shame, anything that you may be feeling that's connected to this, that is causing you to need to hold on to the situation or causing you to hold back from expressing how you feel or what you think inside, or causing you to pretend to be feeling something different, or causing you to stay stuck in the anger. All of that stuff that's building up and stuck there can be released in that one simple action. And with it comes a lot of prosperity, a lot of luck, a lot of blessings, a lot of good things in your life come from being able to let go of those situations that are not serving you and those feelings. Hymus Paradolia. We have 8 of Cups, King of Cups, and the deck card, which is the same as the 8 of Wands in here, but I read it a bit differently because it's a different card technically. So, like I was just saying, pretty much exactly that. Moving away from these situations, whether you still have love attached to them or not, letting it go and allowing it to just be, and being able to express yourself regardless of the fears or the anxieties or feeling like you're unsure of what's going to come from it. Being able to just express what's inside of you no matter what anybody thinks about it is something that is really going to bring a lot of good things into your life. It's going to help you to be able to manifest to a much greater and higher extent. You definitely have a lot of emotional intelligence, and this emotional intelligence, this stability, this peace, this emotional maturity that you have developed by being able to let go of things, by being able to take accountability for your own actions as well, and being able to express that is something that's going to manifest in a lot of good into your life, especially in the emotional front. So you may notice that there may actually be different types of people around you as well when you start doing this, because they're going to be people that are in that same high level of emotional intelligence and are really wanting to take accountability for their actions and really wanting to do the right thing. Letting go of any kind of passive-aggressive behaviors. Passive-aggressive behaviors crop up and pop up because you are unwilling to say what you're really feeling. And so you're scared or you're nervous or you're thinking that if you say this, things are going to happen a certain way, and you're worried about what's going to come of it and all that kind of stuff. So instead of expressing how you're feeling, you put it in a joke, and it can be a really cruel joke. And then, that bitterness, that resentment, that pain, all that stuff comes out in that joke. Or all that stuff comes out in that snide comment or remark. And you're not really actually maturely expressing what's going on within you. You're putting it out there, but it may not even get picked up by the people around you as well, especially if you put it out there as a joke. And then you get even more mad sometimes. When instead you could just address it, bring it up, talk about it. And if the people are not willing to listen, or if they are unwilling to hear what you have to say, or if they want to tell you that you're wrong and they should be able to act however they want to act, or whatever the case may be, you can move away from that situation, because those aren't the people that you want around you anyway. Having compassion, empathy, understanding, and love for yourself and for others. is also very important during this process as well. Because when you let go of these people, you don't want to let go of them with hate and bitterness and hurt. You want to be able to let go of them with love, compassion, and empathy, because that frees you to go forward. That keeps you from being poisoned and brought down by the crap that happened in this situation. And instead, you did your part, you did the best you could, you took accountability where you needed to, and you expressed yourself fully. There's no regrets. There's no anything that you need to stay stuck on or focused on, anything that you could have did differently, because you know what? You did what you felt was right at the time. You put yourself out there, you did as much as you could, and now there's no regrets. It's kind of like when you decide, oh, I'm not going to tell this person that I love them because, you know, they don't feel the same, or because it could never work, or because whatever the case may be. And then months later, you're still thinking about this person, and what if I would have told them? What if I would have told them how I felt? Sometimes you go back and tell them at that point. Sometimes you don't. But the biggest reason you're still thinking about that person is because you never put your true emotions out there. And if you would have put your true emotions out there and this person put theirs out there, then you wouldn't still be stuck on this situation. So in between messages, if you guys wanted to be able to donate or purchase one question or two questions, because I'm having a sale today where one question for $10, two for $15. You can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list all in the description box below. I appreciate you guys and everything that you guys do as well. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Check out my other channel and do the same. All that stuff really helps me out. Plus, I will be doing a mystery giveaway as soon as we get to 1,000 subscribers on Dee's StoryTime as well. And you can find the link for that in the description box below. It's where all the poems from today will be located, so you can access them for free. Okay. What does Spirit want you to know? Should you call for clients or keep studying? So, happiness is a choice. Who should I please at the end of the day? Throwing chaos in the fray, I choose myself to please, and I am at ease. For I know tomorrow there'll be no regrets, as most people are building the sets made for actors come to play. I'll still be here after that day. I choose the road of far too few. I refuse to give my happiness to you. In pleasing others, dreams go to die. You only wind up living a lie. If I die tomorrow, I will know so much harvest my seeds will sow. I choose my purpose. I went over your head. I will never truly be dead. That is understandable. I'm I'm working on my own business as well, so very relatable. So, at the end of the day, who do you need to please? Who do you need to work for? Who is the one that you need to make happy? Yourself. And that happiness will spread to others around you naturally when you're making yourself happy. And you'll also inspire them to go after what they believe in and what they want. So deep down in your heart, you know the answer to the questions that you're asking. And it's time to really take off any masks you may be wearing to just be you. If you feel like you can study and deal with clients at the same time, then that is definitely a good way to go. Just like teachers, when it comes to teachers, they do workshops every year, 4 or 5 of them every year. They still study, even though they're already a teacher. They already have students, they still study. So you can do both at the same time. And I really feel like both at the same time is definitely going to be something that is going to help you. Being able to balance your time and your efforts between the two. Prayer is going to be something that is going to help as well a lot. Being able to just find a peaceful place, ground yourself in nature, maybe even take a nice long hot bath or a nice long hot shower, and allowing the new day to dawn. There is new coming into your life. There's abundance coming into your life, fertility, growth, a lot of beauty coming into your life right now at this time. And a lot of your prayers are going to be being answered in the near future, where you're going to start to gain and develop a higher level of faith from this as well. I'm going to grab one more of these. You can be happy with very little and sometimes miserable with a lot. Happiness is found in the little things, the peace of a sunset, your pets, your kids, your family and friends, and what is truly important to you. Wanting for more is not wrong, but remember to be grateful for what you have first. In a box. I'm not sure what you meant by that, like you're in the box story time. So, making sure to look around you at everything that you have in your life that is beautiful. It has been very hard at points over the last couple years for me because, as most of you already know, I live in my RV and I have no power, no water, no sewer, no. There's a lot that I don't have, but there's a lot that I do have. I have my two beautiful dogs, and you know what? My older dog was just attacked about a week ago, and she is healthy, getting better, doing really good, and I'm so fucking grateful for that, because she could have been dead, especially if that dog would have been just a little bigger. That dog grabbed her by the back of the neck and started shaking her like a rag doll. And if that dog would have been any bigger than it was, she would be dead. If that dog would have grabbed my other dog, she would be dead, because she's half the size of that one. And they are my family. They are the best thing that ever could have happened to me in my life. Honestly. I have a bed that I sleep on every night. I have a roof over my head. There's people who sleep on sidewalks every day. There's people who sleep under bridges. I have a lot of good things in my life. And yes, there's a lot of bad things that happen. A lot of bad things that happen. This last couple weeks, all these retrogrades going on at once, it's been dumping. And at the same time, you can focus on that, or you can focus on the good things. When you focus on the bad things, you almost live in hell. It's like you live in hell. And when you focus on the good things, it's like you're living in heaven. So depending on your perspective, you can live in either one. This earth can be either one, because it has both light and dark, or it can be a combination of the two. Everyone needs a break sometimes. It's time to take a rest. So, taking a rest is going to be very beneficial for you as well, and it's really going to help you to be able to get your mind right, to get your grind right, to really balance yourself and find that peace and that harmony, that peaceful state where you feel like your messages are being heard and you are hearing the answers in return. Aw, thank you. Thank you, 888 Ascending Higher. Stop the self-hate. You are amazing just the way you are. Don't worry about those who don't accept you. Instead, accept yourself. We will never be able to please or be liked by everyone, but we can like ourselves so that we don't care. Validation comes from within, so validate you. Oh, okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. You know, that one just kind of came out of nowhere the other day. Completely out of nowhere. So, as far as the second question goes, honestly, I feel like they're telling you that you just need to take a break. You need to rest for a minute. Take a couple days off and just take some time to you, to clear your mind and to get grounded. And I feel like you can balance both of those things in there, but you also need to make sure that you balance that rest time in there in between as well. And by getting everything in that balanced energy, you won't feel like you have to choose one or the other, but that you can actually do both at the same time in a moderated way. Moderation nothing in moderation is bad, but anytime we jump into something with no moderation whatsoever, that's when it becomes bad. That's when it becomes a codependency in our life. And that doesn't matter if it's work, it doesn't matter if it's people, it doesn't matter if it's food or drugs or alcohol, it doesn't matter what it is. Anything that is not in moderation in our life or is not balanced in our life is something that can be bad. And anything that can be bad at times, if it's in moderation, generally is not bad in any way. So let's see what other messages are here for us today. And I hope that that really helped with your situation as well. Union calls. My love for you never seems to die. I really don't see a reason to lie. I wish you saw what I see in you. Listen to my voice because it speaks true. You think you're mired in darkness, I know, but please accept my healing flow. Cleansing rain finds you now, no more pain etched in your brow. Waterfalls crashing down, in your eyes I'd happily drown. Ain't no place for no hero is right, saving myself is out of sight. No more fear holding me back, there is nothing that we lack. And the first thing that's coming to mind right now is, not gonna drown in the water, 'cause the good Lord ain't bringing me home. So, there may be a very emotional experience that you're dealing with at this current time, and know that you can make it through this situation. Oh, it's nice to see you. I don't think you've actually made any of the live readings. Hello. So, there may be a lot of emotional turbulence or turmoil going on right now. And there may be a lot of insecurities. There may be a lot of things like that that are coming up in yourself or the person that you're dealing with. Or this could even be past things that you've gone through with this person as well. And people are going to be starting to love themselves better. You and the people you're dealing with are going to be starting to love themselves better. A lot of it takes that first step, and that first step is inspiration. I can understand that. You know, there's things that I try to hit and I end up missing for months sometimes. Self-image is something that really comes out in this too. Really being able to see yourself in a higher light. As you see yourself in a higher light, those that you love will see themselves in a higher light as well. It's like a effect. They say that vibes and energy shifts and changes and interacts with each other and it spreads. Well, if negative vibes can spread, positive vibes can spread too. And so as you love yourself more and as you feel better about you and as you take care of yourself better, as you have more self-respect, more self-love, more self-care, all of those kinds of things, you show others how to do that in their own life too. And they really level up themselves. And some of you may actually even be seeing a lot of people right now that are starting to level up and that are really starting to see themselves in a better light. The other thing that comes to mind is there's a song called Ain't No Place for a Hero. It's not those that... It's those who are going to catch you when you fall. It's those that are actually going to be there for you in your darkness, in your time of need, in your hurt, or in your pain. Those are the people that are the ones you want to keep around. But then again, if you want those people around, then you got to be those people. When somebody else is in their darkness, their pain, their hurt, their despair, do you disappear or are you there? And that doesn't mean you have to be there 24/7, because you know what? You still need your own self-care. You still need to have boundaries, and you still need to tell people that, hey, these are your own emotions to deal with. This is your own problem to take care of. But I'm here for you if you need a shoulder to cry on, or if you need somebody to help you out with a situation or something along those lines. At the same time, I do have my own things to take care of too. So I got to take care of those things. There could definitely be some unions getting ready to take place here. And there's been a lot of that energy with everything being cleared out so much over this last month. There's a lot of new doors that are going to be opening, and there have been already a lot of new doors over the last couple weeks opening. Some of them you may be very afraid to walk through. Fear is an illusion, though, and it's time to face that fear. Face everything and rise, or fear everything and run. That's the two ways you can see fear. Which one are you going to be doing in your life? Because there can be a lot of risk, or there could be a lot of rewards by taking these risks. Remember in this time of hardship that you have everything within yourself to be able to persevere moving forward. Take the path of love and light. Give freely of what you have and ask and be open to receive when you have a need. You are protected and guided on your path. Choose to see and follow it. And sometimes it can be really hard to be open to receiving or to have faith that you're going to receive what you need. There's been a fair amount that I've asked for this last week, and sometimes it can feel like, oh, I didn't earn this, or whatever the case may be. But you have put in a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of effort towards a lot of things that never did give back in any way. So there's nothing wrong with things coming back to you right now, even if you feel like you didn't do anything for it. And it's okay to open your arms and accept those things. If people want to do those things, then people want to do those things, and that's okay. If you're going to give, you have to be willing to take too. Otherwise, you're going to be a giver who is always taken from. And if you are somebody who takes, you have to be willing to give too. Otherwise, you're going to be a taker that nobody's going to be wanting to be around, because all you do is use them up and dry them out. So a nice balance of both is good. Like we were talking about before, everything in moderation is good, but the moment it starts becoming something that's not moderated, it's not such a good thing. And that includes giving. When you give, you can't just give everything all the time away and never have anything left for you, or never open your arms to receive and tell everybody, oh, I got everything I need. I got everything I need. I don't need anything from you. And they also feel unappreciated. They feel like their gifts and their offerings aren't good enough when that happens. There's a lot of people who do feel that way. There may be a lot of takers out there that are willing to come in and just take from you and not give anything back. But there's also those people who want to be able to give, and then they end up leaving feeling like what they have to offer is not worthwhile, is not valuable, is not something that you want. And so they stop trying to give. And if you're still letting them take at that point, they may continue to take too. And then they become the taker, the monster of your dreams. But you know what? Who created that monster? A combination of the two? Especially since you wouldn't let them give you anything and you made it seem like what they had to offer wasn't of value, so they didn't feel like they had anything to offer. You are protected and guided on your path. Choose to see and follow it. A lot of you are bigger voices for peace and harmony than you know. It's time to step up into leadership and guide people into love and unity. Spend time healing yourself and the energies around you. You have all the skills and knowledge necessary to manifest hope all around you. Be a light, be hope, and let your love and inspiration be an inspiration to all around you. So, as you glow up, and as you rise out of the darkness, and as you love yourself more, as you learn how to take and receive in equal amounts, and as you really learn how to interact differently with other people and create more harmonious, peaceful, and balanced connections, friendships, partnerships, things like that, not only does it help to heal those people you're interacting with, but it also helps to heal the people on the outside watching, because it becomes an inspiration to them to be able to do the same things in their life and to be able to create that happiness, that peace, and that harmony around them. It inspires those people who have that voice inside of them to speak that voice. I was at the pizza place a couple weeks ago with my ex and my oldest daughter, and she starts saying something about, me want salad, and she was like copying some cartoon character, and their voice and their mannerisms and stuff. And he starts jumping on her about it because of the grammar. And really just, it was bad. And I'm cringing as I'm listening to this shit. And so is the girl behind the counter. I look up and I notice that she's cringing too. And she's like, what the fuck? And so when my daughter came over to me, I was like, you know what you need to tell your dad? You need to tell your dad that sorry. I was like, you need to tell your dad that he needs to stop that shit. Because when he was a kid, he enjoyed doing voices too until stupid adults came into his life and told him that he shouldn't be doing that because it's childish and stupid and whatever else. I was like, and you just need to tell him to get off your case about it because you're enjoying yourself and you're having a good time. And so she goes back over there and tells him that, and the girl behind the counter is smiling now, and she's like, this is great. And my daughter's like, that's what mom told me to tell you. And he looked at me and I was like, damn straight, that's what I told her to tell you. Because it's fucking bullshit. It's bullshit that you're tearing her down for doing the same things you enjoyed doing as a kid. And the adults in your life did the same thing to you. That's not cool. And I don't like listening to it. And he's like, well, the voice, yeah, but the grammar. And I was like, well, that's how they talk in that show, right? That's the grammar they use in that show, right? So when you were doing the voices of those characters, you also tried to adapt to their mannerisms as well and what they were saying. You didn't just do their voice and put it in your own words. You did their words. And he's like, yeah, you're right. Well, yeah, that is right. Maybe you'll start to see some of that stuff. Kind of like when he was 15 years old and he was out trick-or-treating with the other kids, and there was a bunch of kids that were 15, but he was twice the size of everybody. And so he went up to this one old lady's house and she was really mean to him and told him that he shouldn't be trick-or-treating out there because you know what? He's way too old for this and blah, 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 blah. My grandma used to go trick-or-treating when I was a kid too, by the way. She went with us, so she went trick-or-treating too. She wasn't just going to go out all night to not have any candy. And just throwing that out there. But he let this woman ruin his Halloween until I came into his life. He never dressed up again until I came into his life. And he hated Halloween. And it was childish, and he wasn't supposed to be doing that, and blah, 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 blah. No, you're having a good time. You're having fun. You're as old as you want to be. And when you allow people to tell you that you're not allowed to do things that are fun, that you enjoy doing, that are childlike, you're allowing them to steal that joy out of your life and that happiness out of your life. So don't allow people to steal your joy and happiness out of your life. Don't worry what anybody's thinking, what they're saying, what they want to do to try to make you miserable like them. And they don't even realize they're miserable. That's the thing. They don't even realize they're miserable. That old lady must have been really miserable to be destroying a child like that. A child that's not out doing drugs and partying, but is out trick-or-treating and having a good time. Having a good time doing something so simple and wholesome. 3 of Pentacles, 4 of Swords, 2 of Wands. It's kind of like the people that wanted to burn the Harry Potter books when they came out. There was a lot of Harry Potter burnings when those books came out. There's people in this state right now that are trying to ban books from schools. And that's not okay. You know, if it wasn't for the Harry Potter book, I don't know what I would have done when I was a kid. That book came into my life at the perfect moment. And it was an amazing, amazing, life-saving, beautiful, wonderful thing. And if it wasn't for her not caring what anybody thought about what she was doing, she never would have wrote that book. But that book is there to help so many people behind her. Exactly right. And more of us need to do that. And as we open our voice and express ourselves like that, regardless of what anybody thinks, or regardless of what anybody wants to say to us, or how they want to make us feel about it, the more it spreads and the more people continue to do that, the more people start to stand up for people they see in that position. Because they watched somebody else do it. Somebody else that didn't care what was going to happen if they decided to express themselves, like we were talking about earlier. Not caring about what happens when you choose to express yourself and what reaction you get from it. Everybody is not going to love you no matter who you choose to be and no matter what you decide to say or where you decide to go or how you decide to live your life. So you might as well live your life the way that you want to live it, because that's what's going to make you happiest and make you feel the best at the end of the day. That's what's going to give a voice to your inner child. Your inner child that may have been stomped down and abused and hurt severely by some of those people itself is now going to feel safe and comfortable and loved, and it's going to feel like it has a voice again. And not only that, but the children around you, or even just the adults around you who have that inner child that's been bruised, they are going to feel like their inner child can be protected, can be cherished, can be loved, can be spoken out for and taken care of. And that's how we spread that to the world. There's a song called Change the World. It's on the Sugar Shack Sessions channel. I think it's by Wolfgang or I don't know. You say you want to change the world? Well, we could. And this is how we do it. In those small things, in those moments, we have a chance to create dramatic impacts and massive changes. If we choose to rise above that fear and to express what we feel inside, then we can change so many lives around us, so many more lives than we even realize sometimes, because I don't even know how many other people were listening to that exchange around us. The one whose energy that I was connecting to most, that I saw most and felt most, was that cashier behind that counter. That cashier behind that counter that probably takes abuse all day long every day. From assholes just like that. Assholes who don't even know they're being assholes. Because they had assholes who showed them how to be assholes. And who made them feel like they couldn't be who they wanted to be. And now they're busy trying to stomp that out of other people, instead of standing up and fighting for that inside themselves. And maybe those people will even learn how to do that themselves as well. And maybe it'll turn them around. You're definitely learning, growing, and overcoming so many obstacles in front of you right now. And a lot of that is because you're taking that time to yourself to think, to grow, to learn, to expand, to really reflect on situations, on activities, on group experiences, to really look at the ways that you handled things and to take accountability for the times that you didn't stand up and say something. There were times that I didn't stand up and say something that left such a long impact on me, where I felt so bad for not saying something that the next time that opportunity came around, I was right there. And I'm doing it right now, and I am saying it, and I don't give a shit what happens, because this is what needs to be said. Because I am not going to live in regret for another fucking 7 years over this shit. Over not voicing what I needed to voice in this situation. Over not having the impact I could have had in this situation. And it's time to make that impact and leave that impression that you can leave in every situation that you come across like that. To forgive yourself for the ones that you didn't have that voice, because that voice felt squished or weak or small, or that voice felt like it was drowned out in some sort of way. And the repercussions that came from not expressing yourself at that moment in time. That's not your fault. The way people choose to act is not your fault. But the way that we choose to respond in those situations, if we feel like we did not do good enough, we can decide to do better from here on out. And that's what taking accountability is. Choosing the path that you want to take and taking that path. Not feeling like you need to hold on to a situation so tightly that you need to change who you are or shut down your voice to keep those people around. You don't need those people around if they can't handle the fact that you have opinions of your own and that you're going to speak your mind and that you're going to stand up for things that you feel are right when you feel they're right. Some of you may have taken a lot of time alone and off to yourself. And now it's time to get back out there. Trusting and knowing that you have healed a lot of these things inside of yourself, and you're not going to create the same messes you have in the past. You still may even create some new messes, but that happens sometimes, and it's okay. Because that's just what happens as a human being, is a lot of times we have missteps. We make mistakes. Being humble enough to see them and adjust our sails because we know that we're not always right, is something that is very good for us, and it brings in a lot of good fortune as well. Tree of life, true wisdom in making good choices in life. So, that wisdom to be able to know what our inner voice is telling us and listening to it, not drowning it out, not fading it into the background because others may not believe in whatever it is we're believing in, but making the decision based off of what we're believing in, what our moral compass tells us, what our heart tells us, what our beliefs tell us. Making that decision and making that choice based off of the wisdom and the knowledge that we have from the experiences we've had in our life and from the research and study we've done. It's kind of like those people who still want to defend beating the shit out of their children. And they have to be disciplined. Excuse me, but it has been proven at this point. Research has verified that that is not the way to go. Beating your children and beating your animals, they don't respect you. They fear you. They're intimidated by you. That's not the same thing. They don't love you. They don't respect you. They're codependent on you now. It takes a lot of them it takes a lot for them to break out of that shell you have now created. They don't want to take accountability for that. They don't want to look in the mirror. Fuck, some of the people who have been severely abused by their parents don't even want to look at it as they did the wrong thing. They want to look at it as they did the right thing. If they did the right thing, then why are you in the position you're in? Because a lot of those people that are running around saying that shit are in such miserable, awful existences with so much trauma, pain, and hurt going on within them that they can't even function in a normal fucking life, in a normal way. And yet they still want to defend the actions of their abusers. And that's not okay. But that's what they learned. That's what they were taught. They were taught that with a fist. It's hard to unlearn sometimes. Perseverance, the motivation to keep going despite the odds. So, that is definitely something to be grateful for as well. That strength that you possess inside of you. Fucking pat yourself on the back. Tell yourself, job well done. Be proud of you. Because you are still going. Everything you've been through, every obstacle, every hurdle, every pain, every hurt, everything that you have had to endure along the way, you're still here and you're still going. And you're still looking to make an impact on this world, to make the world a better place, to feel better yourself, to heal, to grow, to learn. That's a beautiful thing. And you should definitely be proud of you. You should definitely be celebrating you. So, between messages, if anybody wants to be able to donate or purchase a question, you can find my Cash App and PayPal in the description box below. If you guys could like, share, comment, subscribe, all that stuff really helps too. Thank you guys, by the way, for any of that you do to support me. Thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate you. So grateful. I'm really grateful, honestly, to have all of you in my life in general. Because you guys are amazing people. I do the readings for you guys regularly, and you know, it's so rare that I even have the devil come out. I mean, there are so many beautiful, amazing, wonderful people on this channel, and I really do appreciate being able to see all the beacons of light that are in this world around me. Sometimes it's hard to see those things, but they are there. Getting to know each other is also something that really helps that as well. So many good people here that you guys could get to know. Get back to your childlike state. Ooh, that's a lot of what we've been talking about today. Remove the fear and thoughts of lack. As children, what did we notice and what didn't we notice? The song that's coming to mind right now too is, we used to play pretend, build a rocket ship and go to the moon. And then, you know, we grew up and now they say you need to wake up and make money. that kind of thing. That's the thing that popped in my mind when I read that. When you were a kid, you had big dreams, you had big goals. You thought anything was possible. You believed it to the core of your being until it was knocked out of you. It was knocked out of you by the people around you who never accomplished their dreams and who thought it was impossible and who thought you should just put away that childish behavior and those childish thoughts instead of going after what you really wanted to do. So today when you wake up, what is it that you want to do? Where is it that you want to go? What do you want to achieve? What legacy do you want to leave behind you? Because you can leave anything behind you that you want if you believe it and if you find it to be true. This right here is the legacy that I've wanted to leave behind me since childhood. The ability to be that light in the dark for those people that comes along and is there to show them and guide them and make them feel like this world is a good place. To make them feel like there's a reason to hope. To make them feel like there is beauty and love and kindness around them. Because I had some of those lights come into my life during the darkness of my childhood, and they made a dramatic difference. A lot of them probably didn't even know. A lot of them may not even remember me, but some of them might. But they made an amazingly strong difference in my life. And there are those whose lives I've touched that I remember more than others because it was a much longer situation or because there was a lot more put into it, whatever the case may be. And there are those that I don't remember as much. Not everybody is going to remember every single life that they touched. I've had some people at points that got really upset over the fact that I didn't remember my 10-minute interaction with them 10 years before because it made such an impact on them. And because they didn't love themselves enough that they were looking for that validation from me to say that I remembered them that much too. What were the best moments of your childhood? Some of your favorite things to do. Honestly, I would love to hear about that below too. I'm sure everybody else would. What used to make you feel good before life got in the way? It's time to be open to the possibilities again. Believe that you can make your dreams come true again, like you did before the world dashed your hopes. One of the things that made me feel the best as a child was being out in nature. I spent so much time running around in the sagebrush, running around in the river, running around playing with bows and arrows and catching snakes and catching lizards. And I spent so much time just with the earth. With the earth. That was my peace. That was my getting away from the stress. That was my escape in a lot of ways. Was just being able to be in touch with nature and really getting down and dirty and not caring whether or not my clothes got dirty, not caring whether or not my hair was messed up, not caring whether or not, what's going on, just enjoying life. There wasn't any cell phones then either. We were just enjoying life. We didn't have to worry about who's going to be upset if we didn't message back or whatever the case may be. We weren't busy getting upset at others for that either. We were just enjoying ourselves. The things that used to make me feel the best before life got in the way. What were those things? A lot of the things that I do today, like getting out in nature. I just went yesterday to the river because I really needed to get away from the havoc and chaos going on around me right now. I just needed to go chill by myself and have some peace. And actually, I brought a friend with me because you know what? More than I wanted to be alone at the river, I wanted to spend some time with that person at the river. So I got a hold of them and we went to the river together. And painting, drawing, writing, all of those things are things that I enjoyed so much as a child. And that's what I decided to do with my life. I decided to do with my life the things that I enjoyed as a child. Being a light in the lives of others, being able to get out in nature, being able to write and draw and paint and add that all into what I'm doing on my channel here. Thank you so much, Cindy. I really appreciate that. And I am sure that you do exactly the same in your life, because anybody that I'm talking to on here does those things and really makes a difference and really changes the world around them. All of you are lights in this world for others. Expand that light. Step into it more fully. Accept it and love it exactly as it is and the beauty that it brings, because you are changing lives. Every day you turn around, you're changing lives. Even when you don't see it, even when you don't notice it. I am sure that there are people from 10 years ago who feel the same way about you. You talk to them for 10 minutes and they're like, wow, that made such a big impact and difference in my life, and it was an amazing moment that I will cherish forever. And you may not know it, you may not see it, you may not feel it, but it's there regardless. The song Through Heaven's Eyes. Look at your life through heaven's eyes. He definitely did not know the impact that he made just by saving that girl that day. And it's because he was busy hating some of the things that he had done in the past that weren't okay, but he chose to walk away from that life and to create a different life. And now the things that he is doing are amazing things. You are starting to notice and break karmic cycles, patterns handed down through time. Accept that your parents did the best that they could at the time with the tools they had. Accepting the fact that they abused you is important, but also accepting the fact that they didn't know how to do it any other way is important. Some of them are going to be severely stuck in pride and ego, and they will never, ever, ever admit that they did anything wrong either. Doesn't mean they didn't. Doesn't matter what they think, what they believe. It doesn't. What matters is what you believe. Yes, they did do things that were wrong. And at the same time, they really didn't know any other way to go about it. My mom, she was severely physically abused as a child. She was severely physically abused in her first marriage. At the end of the day, she didn't want to physically abuse her children. But she didn't know any other way to control them, because you were supposed to keep your kids in control. They were supposed to mind you and respect you. They were never supposed to be children. They weren't supposed to be seen or heard or anything else like that. And she was not a big believer in not being seen or heard. But she did have those moments. She was very emotionally and mentally abusive. Extremely. But that's because she didn't know any other way to go about it. What she did know is she didn't want to do what was done to her. She didn't want to become that monster. But sometimes you become a different monster when you're running away from the other monsters that you don't want to be. There's some amazing things about my mom as well. Some fucking very strong, solid energy. They loved you and they tried to show it, although most of them didn't even know what love really was. Neither did you. Forgive yourself as a parent or a partner even, who didn't know how to love. Forgive your partners too. Pray for healing for yourself and for all, and lead your way to victory. You have it within you to heal. Spread your story, inspiring others as you go, and really making an impact, but only through acceptance of self and others as human beings, and forgiveness of the mistakes and harmful beliefs or actions can you acknowledge and lead a new way of love, peace, and light as a light worker. Because if you're stuck and mired in the darkness, the despair, the hate, the bitterness, the pain, the hurt, the rage, whatever it is, then you're not leading in light. You're leading with hate or hurt or pain. So in order to move away from that, that forgiveness is required. And not just forgiveness for you, but forgiveness for others, because you will not be able to forgive yourself until you forgive others. We are our own worst critic. We are our own worst judge. And no matter how much we are judging others, we are always judging ourselves worse. So if we're judging others, we need to look in that mirror and understand where we may be judging ourselves, and let all of those judgments fall away, because those with no sin cast the first stone. Regardless of whether or not I'm Christian, every story holds wisdom. And those stories hold wisdom too, because everyone has their own. If we expect to be forgiven for our transgressions, then we have to be able to forgive others for their transgressions. You deserve so much better than you are dealing with right now. It's time to love you. Set some boundaries, cut off some connections with extremely disrespectful people, eat right, sleep, and focus on your goals. That guy I was talking about earlier that did that shit last night, I immediately blocked him. And yeah, I don't need that in my life. Nope, nope. Because he knew better when he did it. Period. Bottom line. He knew better when he did it. That's why he had never done something like that before. But he did it because he was upset, because I'm not looking his way. That's not my problem. I'm sorry, but that's not my problem. Don't settle for something so bottom of the barrel. You really are worth far more than you give yourself credit for. Your dreams are not impossible. Your wishes aren't just possible or just impossible fantasies. You have them for a reason. Believe it and achieve it. Don't let others dictate your actions, and don't blame them if you don't take those actions. So, if you don't take the steps to go after what it is that you want to create in your life, then you don't have anybody to blame but you. That's where the accountability comes in too. And yes, there are people that are going to be non-supportive. I've dealt with a lot of it myself. There's going to be people that criticize you, that judge you, that tell you you shouldn't be doing what you're doing, that tell you you work for the devil when all you're trying to do is create a better world. Because I've been told that several times. And then they changed their tactic and tried to tell me that, oh no, as long as you're doing it the right way, you're not working for the devil if you use tarot cards. Excuse me? Get the fuck out of my face. You can't just change your story now. Go away. But if I would have let them convince me of that, and I would have decided not to continue doing what I'm doing, then I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing. I would not be creating the impact I want to create in the world. My dreams would not be coming true. And it wouldn't be anybody's fault but my own, because I allowed them and their words to make me hate myself. And I didn't have to do that. Granted, it is easier said than done sometimes to not allow people's words to cause you to feel that way about yourself, especially when you've gone through a lot of emotional and mental abuse throughout your life. It's really hard to stand up and tell somebody, don't you lay a motherfucking hand on me, and to walk away from that situation and to never go back when all you've known for love throughout your entire life is people putting their hands on you. And fear and intimidation has been ingrained into your being to where you don't want to stand up against that abuse. It's the same thing with the emotional and mental abuse in a different way. You may not be fearing for your life, but you're fearing in a different way. You're fearing that the way you behave is going to cause people to not love you. But it doesn't matter, because the right ones will love you. The ones that you want around you, the ones that are going to make you feel good. The ones that make you feel like a valuable piece of their life. The ones who inspire you and support you and stand next to you. It makes room for those people when you remove yourself from the toxic situations. And when you're able to be that for others, because you're not in that hurt energy anymore. Finally, home to myself. There is no more shadow work to be done. Finally, this painful, hard-fought battle is won. I have overcome all the past pain. I feel it wash over like a cleansing rain. Arms stretched out to the Most High. Gratitude for my ability to fly. Proud of myself for not giving in. I've earned this victory, worked hard for this win. So, this win that you are coming into, this beautiful life, this amazing abundance, this fertility and growth, and the beautiful people coming into your life, the harmonious connections and relationships and friendships and everything that is all coming together for you right now, accept it. Don't run from it. Move into it. Be grateful for it, and love yourself for creating it. Because it wasn't just handed to you. It was something you worked your ass off for. You worked extremely hard for this. It's not egoic to know that. It's not prideful to know that. You can be humble and still be proud of yourself. Still acknowledge your accomplishments. Acknowledge how far you've come. Acknowledge the work that you're putting in and celebrate it. Especially if you have no one in your corner to celebrate it with you. And as you do that, you will attract in the people who are going to celebrate it. Because that's what you are willing to put up with now. That's what you are wanting in your life. That's how you're showing other people to treat you, how you treat you. And the better you treat yourself, the better others will treat you. And the better you will treat others essentially too. Because real confidence, it's different from that egoic, fake, false confidence, that fake it till you make it bullshit. I do not believe in fake it till you make it, period. Bottom line. That's just putting on new masks. You don't need to be putting on new masks. Love yourself and appreciate yourself even through those rough moments. Love yourself. Damn straight. Our guides say that is right. And that love for you extends to love all around you in all of your connections. It builds happy, beautiful, amazing, positive, joyful experiences in your life. That's what loving you does. Loving you is not selfish. Loving you is not something that you shouldn't be doing because it's not okay. Loving you is exactly what you should be doing because it's the right way. And when you love you, you love others. And when you love others, they learn how to love them. And they learn how to spread that love back to others too. You're on the road to success because you are no longer doing things to make everyone around you happy. You're no longer working so hard for everyone but you. You are taking control of your life. You're taking responsibility for your actions. You're stepping up to the plate. You're being responsible and strong and stable and steady in your own life. You're being your own support network. And you are really putting your time, your effort, and your dedication towards those things that mean the world to you. Those things that you want to create and build. You're being committed, dedicated. You're being honest, solid, stable, strong. And you are really showing others how to do that in their life too. If you have people looking up to you, you have people looking up to you and going, I can make my dreams come true. I can have a good life. And it doesn't matter what I came from. What matters is where I am and what I'm doing about it. I have all the tools in front of me and I have all those things within me that I need to be able to accomplish what I'm setting out to accomplish, and I can do it too. Because they did it. You are being such a beautiful example for others right now. And you are creating that world you dreamed of. You're bringing it to life and bringing it to existence. When I was younger, I watched a lot of Barney. I watched a lot of Full House. I watched a lot of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I watched a lot of shows where their lives were so much different than what I was going through in my life. It was almost like an escape too. But those things can be created in your life. People will tell you they're not real. People will tell you that's not the way things actually work. But you know what? You can create that beauty. You can create that love. You can create that life. And you can have that beautiful world around you. And it all starts inside of you and with the actions that you take in your life. And that's what you're doing right now, is creating beauty, creating possibility, creating joy and love and laughter and light and just amazing experiences. And there is definitely right now some people getting ready to go into some amazingly phenomenal unions with people who want to commit to them and people who want to be honest with them, people who respect them, care for them, provide for them, protect them, love them, and vice versa. It's because you are doing the same. Be what you want to attract, and it will attract that in. Treat yourself how you want to be treated, and it will attract that in. Treat others how you wish to be treated, and it will attract that in. It's a combination of so many different things all going into creating this happiness in your life. But it all starts with that self-love, and that self-love overflowing up out of this cup and spilling onto everything around you and creating beauty. Goddess, healing the feminine energy. Loving that part of you that is sweet and kind and caring, empathetic, compassionate, understanding. No longer being afraid of that part of you, because that part of you is what allowed the abuse to happen. That part of you is not what allowed the abuse to happen. The part of you that allowed the abuse to happen was the part that was groomed into believing it was okay and acceptable. The part that was brought into a level of fear and intimidation by the people around you. The part of you that didn't think that you were worthy of love or valuable. The part of you that was not giving that kindness, acceptance, love, compassion, and empathy to yourself, but was giving it to everyone else around you. That part of you that is the toxic side of an empath. Because there are toxic sides of an empath. The empaths are 99% of the time created through rigorous abuse throughout their life. They learn how to moderate themselves for the emotions of others and how to change and morph themselves into what's needed to create peace and harmony in the situation. They also learn what it's like to be in other people's shoes, what it feels like over there. They learn a lot about emotions. They learn a high level of emotional intelligence. And then they need to learn to have that same emotional intelligence for themselves and to give themselves that same love, that same kindness, that same care, empathy, understanding, acceptance, and that same ability to take up space. And that same ability to tell other people, look, I don't like the vibes you're in right now and I don't need it around me because it's not good for me. And to be okay with that. And then you can let that beautiful side of yourself out again, because that beautiful side of yourself is not getting taken advantage of, walked on, used, and abused. But you are there to stand up for that side of yourself because you found your masculine half. And now that you found your masculine half and you went balls to the wall, deep, all the way up to your head in that half, now it's time to balance out the two and to be present for both of those aspects of yourself. Time to shine creates the energetic resonance for golden opportunities. Breaking bad habits. Self-acceptance, excellent mental health, and letting go of vices. So, it's time to accept you for you, to love you for you, to take care of your own mental health, to take care of your own needs, your own wants, your own desires, to really put that time, that effort, and that energy into you and creating beauty in your life for yourself. Letting go of the things that do not serve your highest good. Letting go of those situations that are not good for you. Those people that cannot respect you or what you tell them. Those people that want to walk on you even after you have already told them, look, I don't want to be walked on. And if they want to continue walking on you, that person has absolutely no respect for you. That also means they have absolutely no respect for themselves. So you move away from that situation, because that's how you show respect for you. And that's how you show respect for others as well. Because now you're not there to yell at this person constantly or to say hurtful things to them constantly. But you have just let it go and you've moved away from it. Which also shows yourself you deserve respect. You deserve kindness. You deserve care. You deserve people who are going to give a shit on whether or not they are toxic in your life. And if they don't, then they don't need to be in your life, because yes, they are toxic. And that includes substances. That includes food. That includes drink. That includes alcohol, drugs. That includes sleep. That includes work. That includes friends, family. It doesn't matter what it is. Because like we discussed a lot in this reading today, moderation, nothing in moderation is bad. But when it starts taking over your life, that's when it becomes bad. That's when it becomes a codependency. And that's when it becomes toxic. When it becomes something that you could not walk away from if you had to walk away from it. Like the fact that most of what I drink anymore these days is water. And that's because my kidneys appreciate water. But if you're somebody who has kidney problems and all you drink all day long is soda or coffee or whatever the case may be, then you are giving in to those vices instead of doing the things that are healthy for you. In doing this, you're building a very strong network for yourself, and you're building a very strong situation for yourself. Seeing spiders is actually a symbol of protection as well. I love spiders. You know, I mean, I don't want them crawling on me or anything, but I don't mind spiders in any way. Spiders get rid of all the rest of the bugs, and I don't got to worry about the rest of the bugs. And as long as, they stay in their own area, I'm fine. The webs that they build with their tiny little threads, it's amazing how strong they can build those webs. How weak those webs can be in certain circumstances, but how strong they can be in other circumstances. Where does your web that you're building feel the strongest? Because that's where you should be continuing to build it. Where does it feel like it is attracting the most sustenance for you? Because that's where you should be building it. Singing is something that you may really appreciate as well. The song that's coming to mind right now, there could be somebody here who sings very well, and you may need to overcome some sort of something to be able to do it. My Time to Shine, there's a song. Throw me that mic. I'm here all day. It's time for me to light up the stage. I don't know. I don't remember the lyrics completely, but that's what's coming into mind right now, because the Nightingale a lot of times is about singing as well. Just being able to sing, dance, enjoy yourself, enjoy the fun times that you have. And that's just like when you were a kid. When you were a kid, did you care what anybody was thinking about your dancing? Hell no. You went out there and did it anyway. Did you care what anybody was thinking about your singing? No. You went out there and you sang anyway. You didn't give a shit. And that's what it means by entering that childlike state again. Not being in that state of lack. I'm not good enough to be out there singing. It doesn't matter as long as you're having fun. Who cares what anybody else thinks about it or how anybody else treats you because of it? And if they don't treat you right or you don't feel good doing it, go somewhere else and do it, because you can feel good doing it somewhere else. My mom never thought she sang very well at all. Like at all. I loved listening to my mom sing. I loved listening to her sing, because it wasn't about how well she sang. It was about her singing. It was about the energy she was putting out while she was singing. It was the beauty. It was the calm. It was the comfort. It was the amazingness that I felt when she was singing. It had nothing to do with how she was singing or how it sounded or anything else. When I'm listening to people play guitar, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're hitting all the notes right. What matters is how they're feeling when they're doing that. And I get pulled into that feeling. I feel energy a lot. And so that energy is what encapsulates me. Sometimes I don't even know if I'm even hearing what's being played because it's just so much of the energy. And then you got those people that are just complete and total fucking assholes because everything has to be perfect. That is exactly what I was talking about earlier with that guy last night. Because there was a guy that was at the bar that was playing, and you know what? He's close to ending his time on this earth anyway. And he's had multiple wrist surgeries, shit like that. He's probably never going to play the way that he used to play. Things like that. He doesn't play the best. He knows he doesn't play the best, but he's getting up there and doing it anyway. And this guy just shit all over him. Just shit all over him. And this guy had asked me the week before what would make him more attractive to women. And I was like, you know what? Not doing that. Fucking being able to get up there and play with that guy, regardless of whether or not he plays perfect, who gives a shit? And so he did end up getting up there and playing with him. And because he felt like he was forced into it, he wanted to blame me for it instead of, he chose to get up there and do it himself. Now he's all upset about it, and he has to make that guy hurt as much as he did. So he said a mouthful to him at the end of it, too. And I was like, you know what? You were doing really good until that diarrhea of the mouth got you. And then you just shit all over yourself because, yeah, that was completely unattractive. People can be assholes sometimes. And you know what? Everyone can be assholes sometimes in their own ways. We know what demons we get along with best, though, and what demons we play the best with. So, which ones do you want around you? Because those aren't the ones I want around me. That doesn't mean that there aren't people who can live with those demons. I just don't want them around me. So move away from the things that you don't want around you. And that's going to be what brings in the best things for you. So we're going to get one more message to close this out. And I really hope you guys have enjoyed this reading today. I've enjoyed this reading today. Sometimes there's a lot of things that come out that I need to hear too in that moment. So, and a reminder on. Katy Perry, Dark Horse. Cheshire Kitten, We're All Mad Here by J.J. Tucker. There are many new opportunities in front of you. You have ended things that no longer serve your highest good. Don't feel guilty about it. Walked away from the illusions. Worked hard to overcome self-defeating behaviors. But you may be having a hard time trusting or opening up again. It's time to bring your passions and emotions into balance, to open up to the gray area. Get out more to open up more. Allow your heart to guide you, but not to lead an impulse. So, a balance of the heart and mind in making the decisions that you're making right now is going to be very important, because it does take both. It takes the heart and the mind. Some people will tell you shouldn't be making decisions with your heart. Some people will tell you you're making too many decisions with your mind. Well, it takes both in order to make the best decisions for yourself. It takes a balance of it. And I am going through some of this myself currently as well. A lot of anxiety creeping up and popping in certain areas of my life right at this current moment. But I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give in. I'm going to face those things and look at those things and uncover the root cause for why I'm feeling this anxiety and this fear so much right now. I'm going to take the measures necessary, and I'm going to express the things I need to express. And when I need that time for me, I'm going to take that time for me to find that peace and that balance so that I can listen to my innermost voice instead of the fears that are clawing at me. Because yes, they're right outside my door and they're clawing and banging. And it's creating that extra fast heartbeat. It's creating that who knows what's coming and let's make up some stories for what could be coming energy. But that's not my intuition. My intuition is underneath that fear. Which means I need to be able to vocalize to people that, hey, this is moving a little fast and we need to slow this down. And I need to feel okay about that. And I need to, even though they're going to have emotions about that, that's their emotions to deal with about that. And these are mine. I can be honest and straightforward and I can, assure them of what I can. But I can't make any promises that I'm unsure of at this moment. I can't do things just simply because it's going to make them feel better. Instead, I need to make sure to take care of me. And that's what we need to be making sure to do, is to take care of ourselves during this time. Return to sender. Any curses you cast on me fall on you for all to see. Any negative energy you send my way, it's all returned to you today. Your curses are as powerful as you. You really need to get a clue. My beauty is mine to hold. I'm not the one who looks old. My outside matches my inside shine. You can't take what is mine. I'm protected for all to see. You're exposed and it sets me free. Your lying lips no longer speak. Unless it's truth you intend to squeak. I thank you, ancestors, for your light. I ask you now to join the fight. My light is too bright for you to bear. You are dumbstruck and can only stare. Lost your touch, power's gone. I am not your willing pawn. I am not a player in your game. You and I are not the same. I hold power over me and mine. You have none. Read the sign. I cast you out of my energetic field. Protective walls are now sealed. Not carrying that with you. Letting it all be returned and letting it all go back to the owner. Forgiving, releasing, letting go, and allowing it all to fall away. Doing your rituals, saying your mantras, doing your spell work for protection, for returning to cinder, for balance, for peace, for harmony, improving yourself and taking the time for you, believing and having faith. Once you are able to release and let go, that karma can go find its home, and it's not on your back anymore. It's not weighing you down anymore. Trust in and have faith in the work that you are doing and the results that are coming because of it. Because everything that you have been doing is leading you to so much greatness in your life right now. You have blamed yourself for too long. It's time to see others' actions are not your fault. You cannot make choices for anyone but you. If you don't like your choices, then you change them. Don't self-blame and don't blame others. If you are dealing with others who hurt you with their choices, walk away. No more self-sabotaging. No more self-sabotaging by clinging on to things that are not good for you, by refusing to listen to your intuition and make the choices you need to make that are necessary for you in your life. Things like that. Trinket 5, manifesting money and income. Feeling like you deserve the beautiful things coming your way. Feeling like you deserve the abundance. Feeling like your growth and the seeds you have planted are reaping rewards. Having faith and trust in that. And allowing it to come in. And also not allowing anyone to take that from you as well. By making you feel in some way inferior about yourself. Not being around the people who are trying to do that in your life. Water. Work with the element of water for healing, purification, and refinement. Water is a very beneficial way to do those protection methods that we were just talking about, or being able to release and let go, being able to cleanse your energy. You don't need to have a priest or whatever the fuck around to bless your water. They took your power away when they told you that. All you have to do is pray over your water. And that water is now a purification source. Also, I like to do salt baths, and I like to mix things with my salts myself. I like to get plain salt, and then I like to put things like lavender in it. Fresh lavender, because there's some lavender around here that I can pick. Or I also have essential oils, so when I don't have the fresh lavender, I can still put lavender in there. I also like to use orange oil, lemon oil, because it creates happiness, joy. It takes away the shame and the guilt, and it allows you to live out the desires you have in your life without feeling bad for being who you are. It encourages positivity, optimism. It helps with depression and anxiety. It really makes you feel so much better. There's rosemary and peppermint and eucalyptus that also create their own things. They help with pain. They help with allergies. They help with physical pain or emotional, mental, spiritual pain, things like that. They also help you to be able to open yourself up more to the messages coming in as well. Taking a nice long hot shower and allowing all that water to run over you from your head down to your feet, and as it's running over you, visualizing and imagining all that negative energy washing off and down and away, down that drain. All of your muscles relaxing as it does, and allowing yourself to just be at peace and at ease. And you can do that with or without water. But water does help with that visualization process as well. And it also is very healing in general. Our bodies are made up of a lot of water. So the water that we're putting into them is very important as well. Healing. True healing of the mind, the body, and the soul. Drinking enough water is very important too. You've been working so hard towards this healing, and it's true healing. So it may have taken longer than other people in some ways, but those other people may also just be putting on a show of being healed. If you look closely, you can see some of that because it comes out as ego and pride and that false confidence. You worked very hard to get to the level of confidence, stability, and strength that you have within you. Be proud of it, celebrate it, and celebrate you, because you were the one that put in the time, the effort, the work, the energy. Yes, you had help along the way. Be sure to give credit to the helpers that you had along the way. Be sure to give back in whatever way that you can. But at the same time, give to you for the beauty that you've brought into your own life, because you were the one who chose to make that difference in your life, chose to take that path, chose to take your power back, and chose to learn, grow, and change things that needed to be changed in your life. You decided to do that. It's not some chosen one is the only one that can be that. Everyone is chosen. Everyone on this planet. It's whether or not we choose to become what we were chosen for. And you have chosen to become that. So love yourself for it and give yourself that credit, because you deserve it. You will never get that credit from outside yourself until you give that credit to yourself. You don't need that credit, no. But I can understand wanting that credit, and that credit will never be seen by you unless you give it to you first. So give it to you. Hi, beautiful. It's nice to see you again. So that's what we have for our reading today, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed this reading. I would love to hear what you guys had to say about it in the comments below, and I truly hope this helped you out today. If you guys wanted to be able to donate to the channel, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list in the description box below. I really do appreciate whatever you guys send. Never think it isn't enough, because I've had people that are like, oh, I wish it could be more, or it's really not much. And don't worry about that. Whatever you send is fucking phenomenal, and I truly appreciate it. Even if you can't send anything and all you're doing is liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing on this channel or my other one, all those things are fucking amazing too. And I really appreciate you and everything that you do to help support me. You guys are amazing, and I hope you guys have a beautiful night or day, whatever it is, wherever you are when you're watching. Bye-bye, guys.